You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 17th of January. India's PM Modi invites investments in mobility sector, vows government support. Pakistan's Imran Khan handed 14 years jail term in landcraft case. And China offers biggest ever foreign investment in Sri Lanka. And now for all the details. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday invited investments from all sectors that see their future in mobility, promising government support at every level in the world's third largest car market. India's auto industry, which grew by about 12% last year, will expand further as a result of factors including its large youth population, increasing middle class and rapid urbanization, PM Modi said. He was speaking at the Bharat Mobility Global Expo in New Delhi to an audience of global and Indian executives, including the president of Suzuki Motor Corporation and the managing director of Mahindra & Mahindra. The intent and commitment of the federal government are completely clear. Whether a new policy has to be made or reforms needed, our efforts are continuously underway. Now you have to take these forward and take advantage of them, Modi said. Pointing to work being done in India regarding solar power, he said this would fuel demand for battery storage systems. India has been courting foreign investors like Elon Musk's Tesla, whose entry into Indian markets could spur more investments in electric vehicles and also benefit local car part manufacturers, analysts say. The country's EV market made up about 2% of its total car sales of 4 million in 2023. And Pakistan's incarcerated former PM Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi were found guilty of corruption in the £190 million Al-Qadir Trust case and have been sentenced to 14 and 7 years in prison, respectively. The verdict was announced on Friday amid tight security outside Adiala jail, following which Bushra was arrested from the courtroom. The couple was indicted in the case in 2024, shortly after the general elections. The PTI founder will have to pay a fine of Rs 1 million and his wife has been slapped with a fine of Rs 5 lakh. In case they fail to pay the fine, the ex-Prime Minister will serve 6 months more and Bushra 3 months. The verdict is the biggest setback for Khan and his party since a surprisingly good showing in the 2024 general elections, when its candidates, who were forced to contest as independents, won the most seats but fell short of the majority needed to form a government. Khan has been in jail for over a year now in multiple cases. Moving on, members of the Baloch National Movement highlighted the issue of enforced disappearances in Balochistan at the first World Congress on Enforced Disappearances organized in Geneva this week. The BNM aims to hold the Pakistani state accountable for its actions and bring justice to the Baloch people.
The Baloch National Movement (BNM) brought international attention to the issue of enforced disappearances in Balochistan during the First World Congress on Enforced Disappearances held this week in Geneva. The members of BNM participated in various sessions, engaging with international organizations, human rights advocates and policy makers to shed light on the ongoing crisis in Balochistan under Pakistani rule. Baloch activists allege Pakistani army and spy agencies use torture and abductions as tactics to instill fear and exert control over the Baloch people, who have been demanding independence from Pakistan's occupation. They blame Baloch people have been targets of so-called military operations, ethnic stereotyping and abductions by the Pakistani state, while it continues to exploit their natural resources.
Baloch National Movement has been meeting with the different international organizations, the representatives of ICGA, Human Rights Watch. Along with that, Baloch National Movement delegation met with the working group on enforced disappearances, and Amnesty International was also over here. So The team of Baloch National Movement had a discussion with Amnesty International regarding the issues going on in Balochistan, specifically enforced disappearances.
जो रीजनल सिविलाइज्ड कंट्रीज़ हैं, जो डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज़ हैं, उनकी ज़िम्मेदारी बनती है कि वो यहाँ आकर न सिर्फ इंटरवीन करें बल्कि इसमें बलोच कौम की मुख्तलिफ़ तरीक़ों से वो मदद कर सकते हैं, जिसमें बलोच एक जो जेनोसाइड से का सामना कर रहा है उसे वो रोक सकते हैं.
We ourselves are still learning, but what I believe is there is a hope that one day the crimes against humanity which committed by the Pakistani army, Pakistani state in Balochistan and elsewhere in Pakistan can be brought to the justice, and they will be held accountable for their actions.
The Baloch National Movement also set up a protest camp near the Broken Chair to highlight the enforced disappearances. Through these efforts, the BNM aims to bring global attention to the ongoing crisis and strengthen its campaign for justice and accountability.
And China's Foreign Ministry on Friday announced that Touhid Hossain, Foreign Affairs Advisor of the Bangladesh interim government, will visit China next week for 4 days. During the visit, the top diplomats of the two countries are expected to formally announce the inauguration of the celebrations of the 50th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between Bangladesh and China. Ambassador of China to Bangladesh, Yao Wen, also met Foreign Secretary Mohammad Jashimuddin on Thursday ahead of the foreign advisor's visit to China scheduled for 20th to 24th January. Since the ouster of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh has been ruled by an interim government led by Muhammad Yunus and has been involved in anti-India activities. China's growing influence in the South Asian region through initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative is seen as a strategic challenge by India. New Delhi views Beijing's expanding economic and military presence as a threat to its regional dominance and security, fearing it could undermine India's influence and stability in the area. Meanwhile, China has offered to invest $3.7 billion in Sri Lanka, stated to be the biggest ever foreign investment in the island nation, to build a state-of-the-art oil refinery as the two countries signed a new plan to upgrade BRI cooperation. Sri Lankan President Anura Dissanyake, who was in China for a 4-day visit, met Chinese Premier Li Qiang and pitched for more Chinese investment in his address to Chinese firms. This was Dissanake's second foreign tour after his visit to New Delhi, where he committed not to allow Sri Lanka's territory to be used against the interest of India. But there is no word from both sides yet whether Sri Lanka would permit the controversial research ships of China, regarded as spy ships by India, to be berthed at Hambantota port. Moving on, locals and tourists gathered at an international hot air balloon festival this week in Coimbatore in India's Tamil Nadu state. Hot air balloons of different shapes and sizes took to the skies despite windy conditions. Organizer Benedict Savio said that 12 balloons took part in this year's edition, representing 8 countries in total. The festival, held by the Tamil Nadu State's Tourism Department, hopes to cement India as a tourist destination for hot air balloon enthusiasts. The participants came from countries including Brazil, the US, UK, Belgium, France and Vietnam.
This is somewhere I've always wanted to come. This is one of the ones on my. I want to do India. I want to come and see everybody, and I've never been. This is my first time, so it's absolutely very special for me.
Having about 12 balloons, hot air balloons in 8 countries is participating this year, and from Brazil and US and UK, Belgium, France, Vietnam and Thailand.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.